Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast. And we've got a game one in the next round here with the Knicks and the Boston Celtics. This one's in Boston. We're going to be taking a look at some of the best bets and player props that you need for this one and the series in general, I think. Also have another episode up for Monday with the other game for Oklahoma and Denver. Two really good ones as we get down to it here. So definitely want to make sure to subscribe to that channel. Continue to follow along for the rest of this postseason with us. Nate, let's just go ahead and get right into it. We'll just let people know. Nate is a Celtics fan. I'm a Knicks fan, but we'll definitely be finding some good ways to bet on this.
Celtics fan and a Drew Holiday stan. I mean, that man last year in the playoffs, he was prominently featured on this show because, you know, as I often said, I can't quit Drew. Drew had me at hello. All the love notes. And over 12.5 points and assists is how I'm going to play him here in game one. He's not on the injury report. He's had 11 days off since to heal the hamstring. And I mean, even before that, he was leading Boston in potentials and actual assists in the first two against Orlando. Just a classic playoff elevator who has different gears to go to and had a lot of injuries during the regular season this year. So his numbers were down. And then now you put him as the stakes go up. Obviously, the guy who's primarily or the missing key for the two of the last four championships is going to start stepping up. So, I mean, last playoffs, he was second behind Tatum in these potentials and actual assists in a 19 game sample. So this is not small sample theater. This year, third in drives, right? 80% field goal when going to the rim and 25% assist rate when passing, which is a nice positive regression compared to what he was in the regular season against the Knicks, where he had 3.7 drives, shot 67%, only a 9% assist rate on 46% pass rate, and only shot 33% in the paint. He actually led the Celtics in paint touches and paint scoring in the playoffs last year. And so those are just raw numbers. But when we talk specific matchup stuff, they're going to put Brunson in the action every time. And Drew, when he gets Brunson on him, is going to put him in the basket. And if it's just Cat down there, there's nobody there to protect the rim. And Drew finishes as well as anybody with both hands on these like weird, interior floaters it's just, that's where his points are going to come from. I mean, he'll hit threes too. He's plus money to hit 2 threes. But yeah, I just particularly like the points and assists when I think about the fact that he's going to get Brunson on him a lot. And I mean, he's like the fourth guy, sometimes the fifth guy you worry about if you're the other team. And that's why he just continues to make hay as just like this super underrated creator and scorer. Because you cannot put your best defender on Drew Holiday when you play this team.
No, you can't. You can't put your second or third best defender on him either. You just can't afford to. This is by no means an insult to Drew Holiday. Not that he would take it as one or care. I'm actually a little frustrated with you because I did not expect you to take Drew right off the bat. But you claimed the Celtics, and that's the best bet on the Celtics right now. Because I was like 10.5 or 8.5 points. Drew Holiday, get out of here! 8.5 points with this man. His shots go up when he plays this team. I have my whole litany of notes if you guys want to hear them. They're just play off of Nate's for how much Drew Holiday is a good bet in this series in general. The other guy that's going to pick on Jalen Brunson, aside from Drew Holiday, who does get the Brunson matchup to your call, is going to be Jason Tatum. I'm going to take him 30 plus. I'm just going to come out and take him to fire away here and set the tone in this series. I think he kind of did the opposite against Orlando. He still took 20 shots or so in that first game, and still he came up short. Definitely had a lot of misses in that one, was awful from three. There's no way he's taking the Knicks as lightly as it looked like he might have been taking the Magic at times. The Knicks, though, continue to also not double team him. They're also going to play similar to the Magic in the sense that like he's going to have to beat OG Anunoby one-on-one. I love OG. I'm going to give the nod to Tatum at this point. He's taken that leap, man. No question. There's only been one game in this series with this team that he did not score 30 points. And we should mention just off the bat, too, that first game of the season that they played, it was the first one for the Knicks, I believe. And they just were, they were taking their first loss of the season out on the Knicks. That was a walloping. So everybody's minutes went down. But if you look at the per 36 stuff for that game, he's at 42 points, I believe, if he had gotten his full 36. So like, yeah, he's going to be a killer, taking at least 20 shots consistently in the games that this thing stays close, and the Knicks manage to sort of match the offense, if they can, of the Celtics as much as they can, like when they get hot from three, essentially. But in those games, like, it's going to be even more Tatum needing to, I think, continue to force the issue with the shot. And it's going to just be open and more available for him. If you watch the way that they play him, they really didn't even try to switch any kind of defenses and mix things up. And if Mitch Robb is unable to stay on the floor, because you really can't afford to not have Cat out there for the shooting. So if you don't have Mitch Robb out there, maybe there's times where he's in there for Josh Hart. But either way, you're not going to have the rim protection to limit Tatum. The points in the paint are just going to be there. And like we were saying, he's going to be looking and hunting for Brunson, not only to get the easy matchup, but to keep Brunson involved in the offense as much as possible. So a lot of the Drew Holiday screening for Tatum stuff and things like that, and he'll get the matchups that he wants.
Look, you won't find me fading Tatum, who's another guy's hit another level here, as we saw. I mean, he did come back with kind of a vengeance against Orlando for at least a couple games
Right.
there. Showed a little bit more in terms of creating than we have seen in past playoffs. I mean, I'm interested. If you think he's going to get 30 points, then we're only at 33 and a half points and assists, and he is by far their biggest creator right now. And he's going to get a lot of OG. And I mean, the one game he goes under scoring, he shot 8 for 20. It's because OG came back. And so that is partially my cap, is why I think Jaylen Brown over 26 and a half points and rebounds, not trusting this man for assists, because I think he won't see much OG Anunoby at all. I mean, I think the Knicks have to prioritize that. So he's going to get Hart or Mikal Bridges. And in that situation, when Tatum went 8 for 20, Brown goes 24 and 8 on 30% usage. In the opener, he went 23 and 7 against these Knicks in just 30 minutes, 33% usage. He is a home road guy, right? I mean, he loves that Boston crowd. Averages 24 and a half at home the last two playoffs. His offensive rating is 12 points better. The only real instance of him going over the points and not getting the rebounds to like get over this combo prop is why I stuck with it. It was game 2 of the finals last year where, he was just hounding Luka, right? Like picking him up full court and like not necessarily getting back there to board up. But he's been the best Celtic in terms of rebound chance rate in these playoffs, 64.5%, leading to 7.5 boards against Orlando. Did not really defer on any 0.4 per game. And that's a big step up from in the regular season, 5.5 boards, basically 55% chance. Also, the Knicks, they got absolutely torched from three in these first two matchups with Celtics, particularly to a record-setting tune in the opener. And they improved their three-point defense, both against the Celtics and against everybody, right? From one of the worst to actually seventh fewest above the break allowed, second best opponent percentage after the All-Star break. So I think we saw the recipe from Orlando too. It's just don't let them shoot threes. And that's where Jaylen Brown comes in, showing that whole array of mid-range and going to the basket. That's where Tatum comes in too. They can both just get it, but I would rather go with those guys than a Derek White to hit 5 threes in as long as Tibbs, has that kind of approach where it's just please run them off the line.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. I don't have a good read on Jaylen in this series quite as much, but I agree he's not going to be seeing, obviously, the OG Anunoby matchup at all, and that's only going to be to his benefit. I guess he'll see a bit of Josh Hart and a bit of Mikal, kind of switching. Mikal probably stays on Derek White like he did in the regular season, but I'm not. I mean, yeah, he's stronger, bigger. That is a plus matchup for him. If you're not going to have a bigger guy on him, and you're only going to have someone around his at best his size. I mean, he's smaller, so it's not going to really bother him unless you can keep him on the 3-point line. But once he gets below the 3-point line with Josh Hart on him, I mean, I love Josh Hart. That's not his forte. So I can see that matchup being a big problem for the Knicks in this one. I do like Josh Hart on the other side only because his points are low. It's at 10.5. I'll just throw that out there while I'm mentioning him. He ends up getting the Kristaps matchup. This is also why I wanted to bring it out there. You see a lot more of Tatum on Cat, Kristaps on Josh Hart. And that becomes one of the guys that they go, all right, I guess we'll let you shoot a little bit more. Not that they really let anybody shoot off the spot up, but I think Josh Hart will be responsible for trying to get them into the transition and avoid the half-court defense of that Celtics. And that could lead to some points for him, which he's also been open because KP is still trying to protect the rim. That's why he's guarding Hart, is that's the guy they want to shoot the ball. So I like his points kind of alone. I don't know what to do with his rebounds and assists right now, but let me close it out with JB. This is something I think you and I were talking about this. I know I was talking about this with a couple people in general, which is Jalen Brunson, 25 plus points and the Celtics to wins parlay here, which is what I'm going for. And we're getting it about even money. And a couple of things are probably going to happen if I had to guess. One, JB's points are a little bit low for playoff Brunson, mostly because he did not have good regular season numbers against this team. And it's the Celtics defense. But I do think once he gets 30 points in one game here, if he has a good shooting game, and we all see, the public, the books, the market, everybody sees JB going one-on-one very consistently. Jrue Holiday is one of the best guys, and in his prime probably was the best guy to stop a guy like Jalen Brunson, where he's like, I'm bigger and stronger than you. You're not quick enough to get by me. I'm already in the spot you think you're going to before you get there. But like the quickness probably not quite there as much for Jrue on this one. So I'm still going to give JB the ability to get one-on-one buckets, and they're not going to bring the double. It just comes down to that. Speaking to the bad numbers he's had this season, I mentioned game 1 in October. These teams played. Jalen was at 22 points and couldn't even really get past 30 minutes because this game was over, right? By that point, everybody was just raining down threes for the Celtics. So it wasn't even a real basketball game as much as it was just a really lopsided affair. And then in the other games head to head, he only went over the 27 points one time. Even in the game where he had 22 points there, didn't get to the free throw line one time. I wouldn't expect him to get a ton of free throws. The one game he went over, he got 13 though. All the other, he was down at like 2 or 3. I think he'll be able to get there 6 times, 7 times to the free throw line in the playoffs. He's been kind of the one man, as a Knicks fan, I'll admit it, one guy in the playoffs across the board who's like, well, he's still getting kind of the same calls that he got in the regular season, whereas other guys don't seem to be getting those same calls. At least that Detroit and Knicks series was sort of looked that way. But either way, I think he'll continue to be good. You get the negative correlation. 25 is below. It's an alt line. I'm really not worried about him getting to that number consistently in this one.
Yeah, because I mean, I would be on Knicks +9 and put in some notes about that, but I just cannot trust Karl Anthony Towns. Like, if you're going to get locked off by Tobias Harris, and now you have like Tatum on you with Kristaps patrolling the back line, like I cannot trust him to be a part of like a winning formula here. I really trust the rest of the Knicks starting lineup to perform. I think Mikal started to come on towards the end of that series with the Pistons. I think he'll have confidence coming in. That's a lean for me as well. If we talk about our leftovers here. But Brunson is, of course, the guy you trust. Like, I as much as you respect Jrue Holiday, Derek White, for him to drop Auxerre the way he did, like that, like the youngest, like spryest guy in the league, like he's been in the lab all year. Like Jalen Brunson can get his separation, he can get his points, and the Celtics are going to live with it, right? Because they're just going to switch everything. They're not going to be like, all right, get the ball out of his hands like anyone else. Like they're just going to live, and Brunson's going to have to step up because I don't know if Cat will at all.
I don't know either, and I don't like the matchup for him, and I definitely think Tatum can handle him. So yeah, I don't like that for that man either. We're totally in agreement there. So that's all the time we have for you, though, in this one. Definitely make sure to sub to that channel. Check out the OKC Denver look that we have for you as well. Plenty of insights and matchup stuff we'll have for you as well, so you can make sure you're prepped for the series. So until we see y'all next, happy betting.